Hello and welcome to my review. Today I will be reviewing the Citizen AT4106-52X. This is a watch I bought used, actually. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. I don't know if this is the original box, but we're going to go with it. It's just one of the many Citizen boxes I have. So there we go. There's the actual watch itself. Let's see. I polished it up too, just for this review. Bam. Look at that. So, obviously this is a men's watch. It's 42 millimeters. It's atomic, it's radio controlled, which means that it will automatically receive a time signal in whichever various time zone you're in. And you can choose to have it do that. You can do that automatically or also manually. So you'll see each of these three subdials indicates a different thing. And if you pull the crown out one click, it will allow you to change. With the bottom subdial, it allows you to change what function you're using. But before we get started with the functions and features of it, I'll just let you guys see it up close. See here. It says Citizen on there. Not sure if you can see into the back there. Yeah, there you go. And all the details of the dial there. It's a fairly complex dial, so if you don't like that style, then don't get this watch. But I think it's great. I wear it a lot. So yeah, the features. If you push the bottom pusher right here, the second hand spins to tell you. So right now it says it's pointing to L. There we go. So it points to L. I'm not sure if you can really see that. So it's pointing to L right now, the second hand, to let you know that it received a radio signal at low strength, which doesn't really matter. As long as it received a signal, it'll display either H, M, or L along the side there. Yeah, I think you can see that. It'll say either H, M, or L right there to let you know that the signal is received with either high, medium, or low strength. But the H, M, or L doesn't really matter because that just means it has received one. And if it hasn't received one, it'll flip to there's no on here as well. That's up at 11 o'clock. It says no. And also it's important to know that if you pull the crown out one click and push it back in, it'll automatically display the signal as having not been received. So oftentimes I'll pull the crown out like that, like I just did, and push it back in once, and then it'll now display as no, even though, as you saw, it had just received a signal. So that still means it's received a signal. It just, for some reason, it resets when you pull the crown out. And also, if you push the bottom pusher, that this subdial right here flips, and it spins, in my watch, in this case, it flips to the highest level, which means that the power reserve is at its highest level. It's at its peak. But it also has an overcharge prevention. So the solar cell in it won't overcharge and ruin the battery in it, because the echo drive movement in these watches, any watch that says Citizen Echo Drive like that, it has a solar powered quartz movement, and that means that it's powered by either natural or artificial light, and you never need to really worry about it. I'm probably gonna have this watch for another 10 years and not have to worry about it. It's a very, very, very nice movement. So the radio controlled aspect of it, I put it on my windowsill at night. I never have to worry about it. I wake up in the morning and sometimes I check the signal. Oftentimes I don't even worry about it, but every time I've checked, it's always been, it always shows as received. And this watch is always accurate. So it also has a sapphire crystal on top. There's a few ways you can tell that actually in person. Um, you probably can't see it on the camera here, but it will reflect on the edges. It'll reflect as either blue or purple, and that's one way to tell. And you can also drop a droplet of water onto the face, onto the crystal, and if it beads up like into one solid ball of water, then that means it's sapphire crystal. And if the water kind of just splashes and spreads out onto the crystal, that means it's either mineral or plastic or glass or something. And a lot of the time you can tell just by tapping on it too. It makes a very distinct sound, the sapphire. Yeah, so let's move on to the bracelet. It's very comfortable. Let me put it on my wrist too. Take off my other Citizen. So, on the wrist, there you go. It's just a simple push clasp here. So to remove it, you push on these two little buttons here, and it comes apart like that. You can slide it off. I like that the bracelet, you can get little half links. See how that one's really short, and then the rest are regular size. You can fit little half links in there when you get it sized or adjusted, or you can do it yourself. When that happens, you can add the half links so that it's a comfortable size for you. A lot of watches have adjustment pins here too on the band, but this particular band for the Citizen doesn't actually have those. So it's only one size fits all in terms of like micro adjustments of the band. But they do have half lengths, which is nice. I didn't have a problem fitting it to my wrist. The back, actually, you cannot remove unless you have a special tool, so I would not try to remove it. It also has a warning on the back that says to be removed by authorized technicians only, something like that. So in terms of the face, very, very round looking on the outside, but if you look closely on the inside, the position of the dial of the hour markers actually makes it seem kind of 10-sided almost. It gives it very nice, more like not hexagonal, but I guess whatever, a 10-sided figure to the inside of it. So it's not exactly round. If you look up from the outside, overall it's obviously a round watch, but if you look on the inside, it has a nice like little facet of it that kind of makes it appear more have more of lines between the hour markers. It's kind of neat. If you get this watch, you'll know what I'm talking about in person. Other than that, the rose gold, I haven't had a problem with it wearing off or anything, but I also take pretty good care of my watches. So also the crown tends to loosen up over time. I've noticed that when I first got it, it was very crisp and, just clicking. It clicks when you turn it. But I've noticed that over time it's kind of worn down, so now it's more of a smooth click, but that doesn't really bother me either. I know it still works and everything. And right now this watch can be had for around $400, I think, from places like Macy's or Boscov's or something like that. If you go to the actual Citizen website, it's more like $675 or something like that, but you can find it much cheaper elsewhere. The rose gold really looks great in person. So yeah, let's see what else. So it has 5 different time zones that you can choose from. If you can read the bottom subdial, there's a lot of glare. Not sure if you can read that, but anyway, starting at the top, it says ALM, which stands for alarm. Then moving to the right, it says A-TM, which means it's a different time zone you can set it to, and then LON stands for London. It also has New York City, NYC, CHI for China, DEN for Denver, and LAX for Los Angeles. And then it has a chronograph. And those are all the functions that the bottom subdial has on it. So if you pull the crown out, one click, The seconds hand spins to the 30-minute mark, and then you can adjust the crown, and it'll click to a different thing. And then so now I set it to China, CHI, so the watch will spin around and flip to China's time. And then see the date's going to change too, which is pretty cool. But that subdial that's spinning has to spin all the way around for the date to change too. And then if I push the crown back in, the seconds go back onto the correct seconds. So it never loses time, whether you're flipping between functions, which is neat too. So moving on, I can flip it to Denver time. It'll flip back, etc., etc. Los Angeles. I flip to Chronograph here. This is pretty cool. So as a digital chime, the seconds hand, or this right hand subdial right here, the one closest to my finger right there, shows the minutes. So it times up to 60 minutes, well, 59 minutes and 59 seconds. It doesn't have any split time or doesn't show anything besides the second. But that's really all you need in a chronograph, unless you're, timing a NASCAR race or something. I don't know. But so once that's in operation, you just push the crown in, which I already did. And then to operate the chronograph, you would push this button, and then it chimes to let you know that it started. So see, now it's ticking, and it started. And then that's stop, and then reset is the bottom one. Pretty basic chronograph there. Again, start, stop, reset. So let's move on. Let's go to the alarm. You would pull the crown out and flip the bottom subdial to alarm, and push the crown back in. It'll spin to the alarm time that you have set. So right now it's set for midnight. And then also the seconds hand points to show off. Off is written at the 7 o'clock marker right there, right on the inside of the case. Right there. So if you pull when the crown's pulled in or pushed in, you can just push this top pusher here and either set the alarm to on or off without even the crown being pulled out. And then if you pull the crown out twice, 2 clicks, that was one, second click, then you can adjust the alarm time that you want. And you do that just by turning the crown. And if you turn it once, it moves once. And then you can actually, this is really nice, you can flick it, and then it kind of spins. There we go. It continuously spins until you flip it once in either direction, either way. And you can also flip backwards too, and do the fast. I think they call it like quick set or something. You can do that too, just by. See, it's tricky. There we go. Or you can go one by one. So I'm going to put it back to midnight there. And when the crown's pulled out 2 clicks, you can also set the alarm to on or off. So right now it's on, that's off. I want it to be off. I don't want it to wake me up. Okay. And then so let's flip back to New York City time here. There we go. So the watch is now going back to New York City time. And once you have this watch all set up, it has a perpetual calendar, which means that the date will always be right until the year 2100, February 1st, I think, of the year 2100. So, after my lifetime. But it's not that hard to set up, and once you do, it just works, And I never have to worry about the date or the time. And I don't travel very much, but if you did, this would be a good watch to travel with because it receives a pretty good time signal in most countries. So I highly recommend it. It's the Citizen AT4106-52X, or you could just search rose gold, or I guess Citizen rose gold radio controlled or something like that. It'll bring this one up. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll come out with more videos soon. Thanks.